so my memory is, so we're at this camp together. It's Isomata stands for Idlewild. It's up in Idlewild, which is up in this mountain up above Palm Springs. Idlewild School of Music and the Arts. And it was a sort of hoity-toity jazz camp, and then there was this other, the other part of the camp was a dance camp. So there were all these kind of young, almost high school age girls.
Yeah.
And that was right when the movie Fame came out. Remember that? So all these girls were like full Fame. They would do the whole scene in the cafeteria. Anybody remember that?
Yes.
Where they put the boombox on, everybody dances on the
Yes.
the full. Anyway, it was our last day. So I was a huge Oscar Peterson fan at that time. I was this young, cocky jazz kid, and Oscar Peterson was my favorite piano player, right? And so. He recorded a song called "The Days of Wine and Roses," famous old standard. And his version of "The Days of Wine and Roses" was kind of this, like kind of medium swing thing. And so Anthony and I were talking about "The Days of Wine and Roses." I don't remember how it started, but I was insisting that "Days of Wine and Roses" was a medium tempo swing song, and Anthony was insisting that "Days of Wine and Roses" was a ballad. And there was no middle ground. We were both right. We were both wrong. And which is also when I got to meet his dad. Gerald came to pick him up. It was our last day. We're all waiting. There's kind of this hill, and here he comes. And it was Gerald Wilson. And, in hindsight, I looked back at this moment as like, this is the son of Gerald Wilson, who probably knows like the origins of this song more than I do. And it's probably started as a ballad. And Oscar did everything as a medium tempo swing. It was his thing. So anyway. Are we going to play the song now? What's your recollection?
My recollection is cloudy, so I need help it. But I have an epilogue that has nothing to do with Matt, but it has to do with jazz camp. I went to another camp later on, which was up in the hills in Idaho, in the mountains in Idaho, and it was run by a guy named Gunther Schuller. Anybody ever hear of a guy named Gunther Schuller? He's a really great American musician, classical composer, but he was super into jazz. He actually wrote 2 very scholarly books about the history of early jazz and the swing era. And he was sort of became very important in a movement called Third Stream, which blended classical music and jazz, and very cool dude. And he had a jazz camp in Idaho. And I went 2 years while I was in college in the summers, and I became good friends with him and his sons, George and Ed. And I went to college in New England, and they lived in Boston. So I would sometimes visit and go to Boston and visit George and Ed and Gunther and the family and hang out and play. And so one day we all went to Tower Records, and I loaded up on Oscar Peterson records, including the one that I think that We Get Requests that it's on, or it's one of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the whole Schuller family was just completely mortified with my love for Oscar Peterson. So I feel like we've got a beautiful bonding here on Oscar Peterson.
Opportunity for connection.
And I can't imagine anybody disliking Oscar Peterson. I mean, you go down the Oscar.
Pure joy.
It's pure joy.
Pure joy.
So, but some people who, I don't know what they think. I don't even want to know what they think. Talk to the hand.
Sure.
This is Days of Wine and Roses.
Song.
It is, yes. Wow.
When you're kids and you're like, it's a ballad. You got all these strong opinions. I'm like mortified, but it's so great, you know. And the funny thing is, like, there's so many different kinds of ballads, and there's so many different.
Well, and that song's probably been recorded like 400 times. You know, so it's.
There's just so many different ways to play. I love it. So that was
Plus the theme is so heavy from the movie. That's the first time I've smiled all the way through it. So.
Right.
That's right.
Female.
Yeah, they go to a deep place there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. You doing all right?